everyone, in this pole tutorial, we're gonna learn how to do the pole dance move, Superman from a Jasmine. So first off, we're gonna get into our Jasmine. You could start low to the ground by just stepping into our Jasmine, and then later we'll take it a little bit higher up on the pole from our chopper. So I'm just gonna take my inside leg, I'm gonna reach it up, and I'm gonna hook the inside leg onto the pole. Outside hand comes down below, and I'm gonna get myself into my Jasmine. Now from here, I want to think of really pushing that bottom leg into the pole. So I have my thigh connected to the pole, and if you notice, this bottom leg here is parallel to the ground. So I don't want it to be pointing down to the ground. I'm keeping it parallel. Now we're gonna start off by staying strong in our arms, and I'm gonna try to lift the top leg off and think of bringing the knee to the shoulder, and then I'm gonna put it back on the pole. Knee to the shoulder. All right, so by doing this, what I'm trying to get you to do is take that knee off the pole and try to get the knee to touch the shoulder. This does get a little bit into your hip mobility, a bit into that flexibility of the hamstring. So depending on your level of mobility and flexibility in that hip will depend how much you could take that knee off to the pole. So maybe if you're super flexible, you could take that knee and actually touch it to your shoulder. Here. Or maybe you're gonna ever so slightly take it off of the pole. Whichever version will work just fine. What we're trying to do is take it a little bit off of the pole, or take that pressure off, so that when we rotate into our Superman, it's less painful. Because we all know that Supermans can be a little bit uncomfortable, it can be a little bit spicy on those inner thighs. So this is gonna help take some of that pressure off of the pole, or off of that skin. Because if I don't think of actively lifting my knee up, what happens when I rotate my hip down, then my thigh is gonna go eek all the way onto the pole, and that's what's really, really gonna hurt. Whereas if I can lift that knee off of the pole, I have now space to rotate that hip down. So now that you've tried a couple of pulling the knee off of the pole, from here I'm gonna pull the knee off, and now I'm gonna rotate my hip bones down to the ground. I'm squeezing my thighs together. So if you were able to lift that leg off of the pole and think of circling the leg around, you might be able to bypass that thigh squeak. And then you'll just make connection with the pole in the thigh with those hips already down to the ground. So I'm here, I'm gonna circle down, I'm gonna squeeze those legs. Now you have to let go of this bottom hand and sink the hips down to get into the Superman. You physically cannot do Superman if you keep trying to reach down, or if you don't let go of the bottom hand. We physically don't have enough room to sink. So you have to take that bottom hand off and reach it forward. For a safe dismount, so starting low to the ground is always really nice, because for your safe dismount, you can place your hands on the ground and lower it down. So from here, I can always just place my hands down to the ground. Keep squeezing those thighs to give you time to get that other hand down to the ground. And then you can bring your knees underneath you, or you can think of keeping that top arm engaged, pulling with the top arm, and just pointing the toes back down to the ground. That version you will definitely have to do if you're doing it higher up onto the pole, because if we do take it higher up to the pole, we won't be able to reach the ground. And when we're higher up on the pole, we don't want to reach down, right? We want to think of our toes pointing down, not my hands, because then if something were to happen, bad things can happen. Yeah? All right, so if you're feeling comfortable doing your Superman from the ground, so from just stepping up into your Jasmine, and you're able to dismount by bringing your toes down to the ground, you can try it a little bit higher up on the pole. So we could go chopper, outside leg hang into our Jasmine, and then same idea, Jasmine, pull that thigh off of the pole, rotate into your Superman. Some people actually prefer to do the Superman a little bit higher up on the pole because they actually have room to sink, where some of us who might have really tight hips have a hard time reaching that leg really high. So they're starting with their Jasmine a lot lower to the ground, which means they don't have space to sink those hips fully down. So depending on your body, your comfort level, you might actually prefer doing it a little bit higher up on the pole. Just keep in mind, you are higher up on the pole, so make sure to pull with that arm and send the toes back down to the ground because you won't be able to reach for the ground. So chopper, I'm just gonna do a little bit of a bent knee chopper so I don't go out of the frame. So chopper, outside leg hang, outside hand comes on top. You're gonna rotate the bottom leg into your Jasmine. So again, my bottom leg is parallel to the ground. I'm actively pushing it onto the pole. I'm gonna lift that top leg up, circle it around, hip bones pointing down, and reach. To come out of it, I'm gonna point those toes down to the ground. Keep pulling with my top arm for your Superman. All right, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to do the pole trick Superman. Comment below what tutorial you would like to see next. So what's your nemesis pole move? And I hope to see you in the next video.